Trojan Philly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to talk about a four-star linebacker that just recently decommitted from the University of Michigan. Listen, you guys already know. We talked about this. Michigan, there was going to be some players, whether on the current roster or guys that were coming in, that were going to be decommitting. And these guys, this guy just got released from his national letter of intent. He signed with Michigan. And look, USC now has an opportunity. I'm going to tell you guys why. USC was in the play with this kid. He absolutely came and visited USC. We're going to take a look at some footage of him. We're going to take a look at some film. But USC is absolutely all the way in the play. So let's get ready to take a look at his information real quick. His name is Jaylen Smith. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. And listen, man, it's straight up go time with him. Very athletic kid. And I think USC can absolutely utilize him. He's rated now a top 300 player according to On3. 278 overall, 19 linebacker in the country, number 12 player in the state of North Carolina. He's out of West Charlotte High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. So let's take a look at his information real quick. Let's go. Real quick before I do that, I just want to salute this soldier, man. I appreciate him. I appreciate his service. His name is Ben31BPD7. And listen, I'm going to read this comment real quick because he shouted me out yesterday. I'm not sure where he's deployed at, but I want to say, Ben, I appreciate your services. But he says this: Yo, Jay, thanks for all of the updates and everything you do for the rest of us fans, keeping us connected to the team. Army life is Army life, so I don't always get the time to chat it up here and given my job, but every time I get to watch your videos, I will, bro. He says, I have a donation coming your way soon, brother, because I know it helps the channel. Stay strong. Keep these young, amazing men of Troy communicating with us through you on your channel. Keep up the good work. Listen, Ben, I appreciate you. I'm not sure where you deployed at. I actually have a daughter in the Army, so I know all about it. But thank you for your years of service, and thank you. We know the climate of the world right now is all kinds of things going on. So I want to thank you for protecting us out here in the United States of America, man. Fight on, my man. Fight on. All right, so getting back to Jaylen, man, as we stated, listen, he was committed to Michigan, now just recently decommitted. And listen, man, you see the man is cut up, man, and he's I listened to a Michigan podcast, and some of the things that they were saying about Jaylen Smith was that, he is absolutely the kind of linebacker that Michigan wanted to recruit, meaning that they wanted a guy that's 200 pounds, around 200 pounds to 205 pounds that they could put on and get to about 230 pounds. Do it themselves. And they said sideline to sideline guy, and you can really see a guy that's absolutely athletic, that you can see why this is the style player that they wanted. Now USC's back in the play, and I think it's very much it's straight up go time. So let's take a look at his film real quick. So here he is. Here you're seeing a very athletic kid. He's number 4, but on the year, just watch how he moves sideline to sideline, lateral movement, and how he bends at 6'3" and is able to get that tackle. But 91 tackles this year, 91 tackles, 62 solo, 25 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, 14 QB hits, 2 forced fumbles, 3 punt blocks, 2 field goal blocks. I'm not making this up. 1 INT and touchdowns. And listen, don't forget, man, USC was heavily involved with this kid. He came and took a visit. Last year, they wished him a happy birthday. This is just a little clip off his Twitter. I just wanted to show you guys how involved USC was. And USC is still have an opportunity to make sure they move. And this was Jaylen actually on his visit, man. And I'm telling you, he was absolutely, listen, when I say guys get lost in the USC love sauce, he was lost in the USC love sauce. He said it was one of the best places he's visited. And I think now this thing is reemerging. The fact that Michigan has now, all these coaches departed. We told you this was going to happen. So USC is back in the play. And I think USC absolutely has an opportunity. And here you see him here, just another picture, man. It's in the Coliseum, and you see it straight up go time. He kind of reminds me, if there's another linebacker committed to Texas A&M, Jaylen Smith, he somewhat reminds me of that from his frame size. Jaylen Smith, I think he stood right at 6 feet, 6 feet one or something like that. And he was in the play for USC. This kid reminds me of that, his frame built wise, that looked like the exact same player. And here's one more picture of him here in the Coliseum. So look, man, USC's in the play. There's a couple more things I want to talk about before we close this out. But USC is absolutely all the way in the play with this kid. And here you see here, this is with his family, his mom. And you see him there, of course, with Coach Jim Harbaugh. And, of course, the new head coach, Shaman Moore. And look, man, all those guys right there in that picture, I believe that they all departed now. All those coaches are gone. And so now you got a situation where only coach is standing is there, Shaman Moore. So now USC could just come into play. And that's where a coach like Lincoln Riley's going to come in. Lincoln Riley's going to make that power move now that, this thing is wide open. And look, man, we told you this before. Lincoln Riley is playing chess. He's not playing checkers. Listen, hiring that whole new defensive staff, it's checkmate. It is officially checkmate. It's go time. It's on and popping. It's on and cracking, man. Now, I saw this actual stat yesterday about Michigan, and this is one of the reasons why I kind of argued about the top 25, why they had Michigan up so high. Notice this here. It says Michigan has 18 players invited to the combine. By the way, USC has 18 players invited to the combine for the 2024 NFL Combine, breaking LSU's record of 16 in 2020. Listen, there's no way you could have that many players going to the combine and think you're going to maintain the dominance. You guys know that I told you it took Jim Harbaugh like 8 years. Much respect to that coach, by the way, and the whole coaching staff, Jim Harbaugh of Michigan. Much respect to him. But there's no way you will maintain the dominance and lose this many players. A lot of those guys, as I stated before, are seniors, and they're out of here. So, it's going to be a fall off. Michigan is going to have a big time fall off, and you guys are hearing it from me first. Just based on the fact that they had a lot of seniors they developed, and rightfully so. You develop those guys. That's what you want to do. But recruiting hasn't been just all that. As I stated, I told you guys this before. They've been in 17. They only had one top 10 team ranked in the top 10 within the past 3, 4, 5 years. So as a result, they haven't been dominant. USC's actually had better classes than them. They probably had better players that have not been developed yet, but actually have players that are probably better just on the roster right now. So look, man, you guys can hit me on that. Tell me you guys' thoughts on that. Also, the last thing I want to cover, this is coming from On3. This is I guess according to On3, the NIL for the top NIL guys in college football right now, and they had Shedeur Sanders at 4.7. You guys know Caleb was still there. He would be number 1, but then Arch Manning there's something I want to show you guys in particular just with this. Arch Manning at 2.8 million, Travis Hunter at 2.3 million, Quentin Ewers at 1.9 million, Jalen Milroe, Alabama, 1.6 million. Wow. Carson Beck, Georgia, really? 1.5 million. And then Evan Stewart. This is the one I wanted to get to. Do you think USC was going to pay 1.54 million for a guy like Evan Stewart? Now, I'm not knocking him as a player, but I'm just saying USC has, look, in my opinion, Evan Stewart, right now, Gary Bryant Jr. had, I think, about 400 yards this year receiving. Evan Stewart had about 400 yards. Now, I know he got hurt or whatever, but I'm just saying, right now, USC with Zachariah Branch, Jacoby Lane, Mekhi Lemon, I'll take Mekhi Lemon real quick over a lot of guys. Deuce Robinson, you name the guys. Kyron Roy-Hudson. Look, man, I love the guys that we got. And so to my point that, early on when everybody was talking about Evan Stewart, we need to listen, I'd rather keep the guys that we got right now and go out and get an interior player opposed to a guy like Evan Stewart at 1.4 million. That's crazy. Now, Jackson Dart, he's worth every bit of 1.4 million. And then Dylan Gabriel, I would say he's worth 1.3 million because he was a good quarterback, very productive, threw for over 3,000 yards. So I like him. Nico, you know what Nico, he's a freshman, has a lot of potential, 1.2 million. I would say he's probably worth his money, man, and he will earn that money. He played very well in the bowl game. So, Arch Manning being ranked his NIL more than Quinn Ewers, a starter, that's suspect. That's kind of crazy. So, you guys can hit me in the comments. You guys can tell me what you think, man. But listen, I'm out of here. That's all I got for you. Drop those comments, man. What are your thoughts? USC in the play with the big-time linebacker, Jaylen Smith, man. Formerly committed to the University of Michigan. I'm out of here. You guys will probably hear it. I'm a little bit under the weather, but listen, man, I've been locked in this room, quarantining kind of situation. So listen, I got to make a video anyway. I'm going to make it anyway. So look, man, until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.